seems perfect. But what if it's not? Friends, your future may not be as secure as you think. Where will you be when the atomic bombs fall? You can secure your family's future by reserving a spot in a state-of-the-art underground vault from Vault-Tec. Vault-Tec. That's right, Bob. Vault-Tec. 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 Reserve your family spot in a state-of-the-art underground vault.
Oh, Vault-Tec, where are you? You should know you can't hide from me for long. Given time, I will find everything you're hiding. I found the Enclave already, and I know you two were so very close. I'm sure they would love to hear what I have to say. You know about how you scammed the U.S. government into giving you billions of dollars, and how you pocketed that and built unreliable bunkers? Or even how you started the Great War to cover your tracks. Just come on out and take a seat. Let's go back to the beginning, shall we? Let's talk about the war that led to the need for the vaults in the first place. The Resource Wars. The Resource Wars were started in the year 2050 as a worldwide energy crisis began due to the lack of fossil fuels. As a result, all able nations in the world began to search for the last remaining untapped petroleum wells. The European Commonwealth then goes to war with the Middle East's oil-rich states. This was due to the rapid increase of oil prices to an unrealistically high price. This war was concluded when a terrorist attack using a nuclear bomb wiped the Israeli city of Tel Aviv off the face of the earth. After the attack, the European Commonwealth and others involved had a small nuclear exchange. These were the first nuclear detonations during a war since the 1940s and the end of World War II. The Euro-Middle Eastern War comes to an end as the oil derricks run dry and both sides begin to forget what the cause of the war was to begin with. Finally, the European Commonwealth is disbanded into nation-states who begin to fight for what remains. America has spent the last 14 years hoarding their oil supply and is completely unwilling to share what remains. After 14 years of sitting by, China leaps into action and openly declares war on America. And so the Alaskan Front becomes a true battleground as the People's Republic of China marches in to take the oil that America has left. America then annexes Canada to ensure their support during the war. However, this leads to unrest from the Canadian people as well as the protesters in America. In retaliation against the Chinese, America started its own war front in Chinese territory. However costly, this plan proved successful as the American soldiers freed the Alaskan city of Anchorage. This victory was largely due to America's advanced military and their power-armored infantry. The Resource Wars ended, however, on October 23, 2077, during a 2-hour nuclear exchange from all able countries known only as the Great War. Now then, Vault-Tec, look at that. America was winning the war effort, but maybe you were hoping they wouldn't. Maybe you were hoping the war would drag on, and never quite reach the point of needing to use the vaults. This way your company gets paid, and no one will ever truly know how poorly you constructed the vaults. Now, this is all assumption at this point, so let's take a look at some harder evidence, something a bit more current. Let's talk about the vault representative in Sanctuary Hills on October 23, 2077. While convincing the sole survivor into joining the vault program, something doesn't seem right. When they answer the door, he/she is greeted with a nervous salesman. Now, I don't know about you, but salesmen are usually charismatic and outgoing. But look at this fidgety little man. He's so nervous and so paranoid that something's going to happen. But he isn't just paranoid. Listen to him when he says,
"The big kaboom is... it's inevitable." I'm afraid. And coming sooner than you may think. If you catch my meaning.
He doesn't sound like a salesman anymore. He knows what is about to happen. He needs you to sign these papers so he can leave with a clean conscience and make it to the vault in time before it's completely sealed away. But that's not all, Vault-Tec. You made it far too obvious. Look at the neighborhood. Empty, no kids playing, no people leaving for work. It's completely desolate. Not to mention that over half of Vault 111 is almost full before the player even enters the vault. How do you suppose that happened? Besides, you had to keep it a secret that the vault was a cryo facility, so you couldn't have filled the cryotubes partially and not have anyone notice if you had taken them all in at the same time. So sealing them all away at one time would have been hard, if not a challenge. So you preemptively filled the vaults, didn't you? Went and told those people that it was a test or a drill, and you got the large majority to file in early. Not to mention the large amount of military personnel that seemed to flood the neighborhood out of nowhere. You had people in place to make sure everything went according to plan before you hit the red button. Hell, you might not have even needed to hit the red button yourself. All you need is to send an unidentified squadron of aircraft near the Bering Strait at a high altitude. At this point, you have poked the sleeping bear, tempting America to cover your tracks with the threat of total atomic annihilation. Forcing their hand in your favor, the Enclave get what they want, you get paid, and all evidence is washed away in due time. Because here we are, after more than a decade of constant warfare with no clear end and no clear winner in sight. So really, at this point, what other option do these superpowers have, if not the nuclear one? For when China or the United States launches its nuclear missiles and drops its atomic bombs, there will be no one left to count the casualties, no one left to declare victory, and to elaborate upon that, Vault-Tec, there will be no one left to blame you.